This week's news is brought to you by the Appleton Podcast Co-op. Enjoy. Here's the news for the Fox Valley for the week of June 12th, 2022. Captain America tells Lawrence University grads to write their own story. Gubernatorial governor candidate endorsed by Trump. Buskers fight hunger by raising donations, and more. I'm David Kelso, and you're listening to What the Fox Says, bite-sized news for the Fox Valley area of Wisconsin. I was at the Donald Driver charity softball game on Sunday, and boy, oh boy, do we need some public transit at the Timber Rattlers Stadium. $15 is robbery for parking. Anyways, let's get to the news. Addressing the Lawrence University grads, Captain America actor Anthony Mackie recalls wanting to be a paleontologist before finding Shakespeare in high school and becoming that theater nerd. He told students to thank those family and friends that paved the way for them, but the future is theirs to write. Tim Michels was endorsed by former President Trump last week, shortly after Democrats tried to get him off the ballot on the paperwork technicality. It went before a bipartisan board, and Michels was unanimously voted to be allowed to run for governor. As the governor race continues, I'll do some special reports on the candidates on both sides for you, because I honestly don't have a clue either, so we'll find out together. This week alone, if you want to busk on College Ave with your guitar, kazoo, whatever it is, you can help fight hunger. Street Music Week returns to Appleton to raise money for Feeding America, so go grab that kazoo, head to Hyde Music, and get a donation bucket and play Never Gonna Give You Up Until No Child Is Hungry. UW Green Bay is getting a total revamp of the music program and adding a technical audio production. Woot woot! The program is backed by the Resch family and will provide 4-year scholarships for students. Sharon Resch said, over the next decade, UW Green Bay will become a premier destination for arts and education, performance, and entrepreneurship, all while creating educational pathways for underserved and underrepresented members of our communities. Thanks to a $10 million neighborhood reinvestment fund grant, Winnebago County is going to be able to better serve the homeless. Organizations receiving some of the funding include the Warming Shelter and the Oshkosh Kids Foundation. They proposed a tiny homes village on West Packers Avenue. The village will act as transitional housing for people to be able to find resources they need to get back on their feet. Architects say that they hope they can get people in homes by this winter. I don't know, supply chain? Driving down Washington Street in Green Bay, you may notice a few more trees, except these trees are made of metal. They were commissioned by the city of Green Bay and created by an Oneida Nations artist who created 3 aspen trees out of copper and other materials. He said they showcase our interconnectivity as aspen trees' roots intertwine. You can tell it's an aspen by the way it is. How neat is that? Waterfront residents in Neenah along Lakeshore Avenue might be losing their peers. Court upholds Neenah's right to build Lakeshore Avenue Trail, but who owns the land between the trail and the shoreline is still being heavily debated. Step aside, boys. Renee Bruman is the first female Eagle Scout in the area. This Oshkosh North senior has achieved what only 1 in 50 scouts do in half the time, as girls were only allowed into the Scouts starting in 2019. Her community service project was signage and bird boxes at the Roble Conservation Park in Oshkosh. Insert Shania Twain song here. Businesses all over the valley say they can't find workers, but a new state grant-funded program promises to find hidden talent in the region. The Bay Area Workforce Development Board secured the grant and is dividing the $1.6 million between several local organizations to help teach English literacy for immigrants and tech literacy for older generations. A big old cruise ship is to call port at Green Bay today. And no, it's not like a carnival or a Disney, but there is a welcome wagon event at Lesh Park at 12:45 this afternoon to give the tourists tours and such. Go figure it out. See how you can serve them. Panhandlers seen in northeast Wisconsin are asking for money and playing a violin, but it's actually just pre-recorded music coming from a speaker. They're faking it. I'm playing the tiniest violin in the world. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? It's a fake one, too. Fridays on the Fox is back. Enjoy live music as the sun sets over the Fox River in downtown Green Bay. Bands include Big Mouth, The New Piano Guys, and more. Every Friday from 6 to 9:30 until July 15th. That's the last Friday they're doing it. And then it's going to get too hot, apparently. You want to be that cool aunt or uncle, or maybe you're just sick of your kids and you want to get out of the house? The Flower Pot in De Pere is offering summer cooking classes for the entire family from June to August on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. From the video, Gina Guth, the owner, is like a grandma in the kitchen teaching family recipes, so I'm sure it'll be a fun time for the kiddos. The pepperoni principalities have heard my cry. The pop-up restaurant Parm will be getting a brick-and-mortar pizzeria in Oshkosh, so if you need your pepperoni fix, you got a place now. This has been What the Fox Says. Can you tell I recorded this in the morning? For further reading, all the sources are linked in the show notes. To send me a local news story or event you think I should read, connect with me on Twitter, Facebook, or good old email. You can also connect with me on TikTok. I've got a couple of feel-good stories that weren't read on this podcast over there. I'm David Kelso. Thanks for listening today. We'll see you next Monday.